Honeys, if you're a cat owner, I'm about to change your life. And if you're not a cat owner, this is a nail in the coffin of cat owners being insane. We all know I'm a cat lady, like my freak flag flies when it comes to the fact that I'm a cat lady. And after my recent purchase, you have every right to be concerned for my sanity. Look at the cute box that it came in. What I'm gonna show you was purchased from Amazon, but what a cute box. When it came, I didn't even recognize it. The concierge at my apartment was like, here you go. And I was like, go off. So here we have a product that has changed my life. I have what we call a Velcro cat. My cat Bear does not leave me alone. For this reason, I can never get work done. He stands in front of the computer, on the keyboard, on my lap, in my face. I've been thinking about this for a while. I cannot believe I'm displaying this level of insanity on the internet. This is who I am. Finally pulled the trigger. Are you getting a sense of what's happening here? Here's my sweet, perfect Velcro cat. And this is what we do now. It's gotten to this point. It's the best thing to ever happen to us. I can get so much work done. I can clean up. I type away. He falls asleep in this thing. It's unbelievable. He loves it. When he sees it, if I'll take it out of the drawer, he sees it come out and he's like, oh, it's time. You can be totally hands-free. He purrs the entire time he's in here. And it's great practice for a real child. The red-headed stepchild that is behind the camera right now that I'm looking at, he's not the right fit for this. There he is. There's the red-headed stepchild. But this guy, he loves it. So that being said, my fiance is gonna be home. He's probably gonna be very concerned with what he sees. He's getting home from a trip, so I'm gonna make him, because he's landing right around lunchtime. So I said, you want me to make you some lunch? So I'm gonna make him one of his favorite sandwiches. I'm gonna make a barbecue tofu bacon sort of sandwich with what we have in the house. So I'll show you how I make that now. I marinated some stuff this morning because I had a feeling he would want it. So marinated some stuff, that's in the fridge. I can't take myself seriously looking like this. Let's get on to the sandwich. So I prepped these in the morning. I just chopped up bell peppers and red onions, and I am marinating them in balsamic vinegar, nothing else, just balsamic vinegar, coated them and put them in the fridge so that they could marinate in there. And then I took tofu and I cut it into really thin strips, and then I'm marinating it in, I just eyeballed the amounts here, but it is nutritional yeast, tomato paste, maple syrup, and soy sauce, I believe. And I mixed that all together. Again, I eyeballed how much it is. It's kind of this barbecue-y sort of flavor that it gets to it. And I let the tofu marinate in it. I cut it as thin as I could so that it would resemble sort of a bacony sort of texture when you bake it. The oven is preheating right now at 400. The reason why I didn't do it any higher, I usually do cook tofu a little bit higher at 425, is because I didn't want to burn the onions. So I have it at 400 here. I'm going to put everything on Silpat and I'm going to bake it in the oven until I feel that it's done, which could be anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes. Then for the bread, we are using my favorite Neshoba Brook Bakery. If you live in the Boston area, try to find this. I get it at Whole Foods. It's from the Concord area, so that's actually where the bakery is. I've never been, but my mom went recently. So I'm taking avocado and I'm spreading this on. This is actually, believe it or not, frozen avocado. And I just let it thaw and put it on there. And then I'm using some kava. Normally I would use hummus because my fiance loves hummus, but we didn't have any. So kava it is on the other side. And then I'm just gonna stack up all the ingredients and stack it good, baby. And then I roasted up some potatoes with some rosemary and sea salt, and he loves ketchup with his potatoes. So there was his little lunch. If it fits, he sits. Right, V? Such a cat thing. Hello. I didn't realize you were here. Why, hello. Well, I'm actually in the middle of filming a reel and a YouTube short and TikTok, but I'm using all of this to talk about the fact that, you know, those people that can literally eat whatever they want and they never gain weight? There's actually a certain gene that they have. It's called persistent thinness, and you can take a DNA test to see if you have it. You can also take this DNA test to find out if you are at risk for tons of types of cancer: breast cancer, endometrial cancer, stomach cancer, lung cancer, if you're at risk for Alzheimer's, high blood pressure, diabetes, if you're at risk for food addiction. It's truly one of the cooler things I've ever done is this DNA test. And so I'm filming a reel for them. And if you want to get it, you can use the code Emmie. I'll link it down below. You get 40% off, which is a massive, massive discount. It's so worth it, in my opinion, to see genetically what you're at risk for. For example, I have a genetic mutation called my dad has hemochromatosis, and I have the genetic mutation for it. I'm a carrier for it. And the DNA test picked that up. So it's pretty cool. You know, it can tell you things about your personality. It was really fun to do. So I have no obligation to talk about it in this video, but I am, because I really just think it's that cool. But yeah, this is 40,000 calories in front of me. This is a bunch of my fiance's food and some of my stuff, so now I gotta clean this up and finish filming the reel. A day in my life as the female Ace Ventura. No, keep your tail there, that's perfect. It's mail time. We just got a letter. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters from the City of Boston parking clerk. You really can't be here, V. Isn't that the vibe? You can stay right here. We'll talk about those in a minute. But first, I have been wanting to get into green powders because I would consider my diet to be, before researching this, I thought I had an A+ diet, but I've been doing research and learning that I can't remember what the exact, I have it in my notes here. A study from the Scientific American reported that you would have to eat 10 times more spinach today to get the same amount of iron that 1 serving provided a century ago. Crazy. So I thought I have an A+ diet. But my diet is probably an A. So I've decided I want to look into green powders to take my diet to the next level. So I have here, I'm making a full video about this. I'm trying them all. And in the full video, I'm going to tell you which one's the best. So let's unbox them. Wait, by the way, is this not like so fun? It's like we're all on the couch together. Like you at home watching this? No, you're on the couch with me and I'm showing you what I got. So first I got the classic, my address is on here, the classic AG1, my box cutter. I don't have my box cutter, but I do have very long nails. Look at this. Oh, I have my keys. I'm sure you're not supposed to do that. Here comes Border Patrol to investigate. So we have AG1. Oh, this is very nice packaging. So we've got our shaker. He is out. And we've got a 30-day supply of the greens. And I think the last thing in here is a little spoon, my little tablespoon. Didn't think that was gonna happen. Next up, we have Primal Harvest. They're primal greens. Exciting. Then we have Live It Up. I like this. It's good branding. And then we have Gruns. And then I have Bloom on the way as well. That has not been shipped yet, but I'm really excited about this video. I think it's gonna be so fun. I also have here 5 letters from the City of Boston. So the story goes, I thought that if the registration sticker on your car said 25, that you had until the end of 2025 to renew your registration. Let me make the mistake for you. That's not the way it works. My registration expired and I didn't know. But the parking clerks of Boston, don't you worry. They put a ticket on my car every single day. So I went out to my car. I had 5 tickets on it. for every day that my registration hadn't been renewed. And so I renewed my registration right away. But while I was waiting for my new registration sticker to come, those parking clerks, Kris Jenner works hard, but the Boston parking clerks work harder. I've probably appealed 8 or 9 tickets because I was just waiting for my registration to come. So let's open all these love letters from the parking clerks and see if they were dismissed. Dismissed, dismissed. This does not look good. This is different looking. Dismissed. 1 more to go. We're just flirting, the parking clerks and I. All these love letters. And dismissed. Okay, I wanted to give you guys a bit of an office update. So I have a couple new pieces. You can see down here, I have a new bedside table. So I have one on the left side, and then I have one right down here as well. I got these from Costway. I'll link them down below. They're absolutely adorable. My dad put them together for me, thank goodness. So I will say, make sure either you're handy or you have somebody handy. My dad put them together for me, and I am grateful for that. Then I went ahead and I took down, it said Healthy Emmie. It used to say, I'll insert a photo. It used to say Healthy Emmie on my wall here because I wanted it to look like, you know, my office, my headquarters. The letters kept falling down. And so I just decided I was gonna put up some portraits that I had. So these two on the right here, this one and this one, are from my old house. So I had those, you might remember, those were in my dining room. And then these two are actually from the other room in the apartment. So we need to put up some other things in the apartment, but I've got those. And the reason why I chose Melbourne, London, I've lived in both of them. So I studied abroad in London and I lived in Australia. And then I've got this office chair that I talked about in a recent vlog. This is also from Costway. I'll link it below. It is so comfortable and it's so pretty too. Usually office chairs are so ugly, but truly this is adorable and I love it. It just fits the vibe of the office. So those are the office updates. Just filmed another video. So I have this string to show the difference between what a fat loss phase looks like versus what a muscle gain phase looks like as a part of I've been doing a lot of videos about skinny fat. And by the way, I don't like the term skinny fat. I think a better term, an objective term is low muscle mass, high body fat percentage. But yeah, I talked about how when you're in a fat loss and you're making your oatmeal, you're using things like peanut butter powder and you're using water in your oatmeal and you're doing resistance training versus when you're in a muscle gain phase, you're using in your oatmeal non-dairy milk and maple syrup and full fat real peanut butter and peanuts and walnuts. And so the difference is you're bulking here, you're in a calorie surplus, whereas over here, you're in a calorie deficit. So that full video is going to be up. And I think I'm gonna film one more video. I have a list of videos to film. I'm just bulking so much content. I'm bulk filming a lot of content. So the next one that I'm gonna film is how to detox inflammation naturally without fasting or juicing. So I'm gonna film that next. Let's do it. Just finished up another video. This one was about inflammation, the mistakes that you're making that are keeping you inflamed. I gave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mistakes. And actually I gave a bonus because I also talked about how important it is to supplement. Chronic low vitamin D levels is linked to inflammation. So make sure that you're supplementing with your vitamin D. That is linked down below, the one that I created and recommend. And then also I take my vitamin B12 every day. So these are both linked below. Don't be a dummy. Seriously, it's the worst deal of all time to risk it. It's the best insurance you can do is take your supplements. These are linked down below. So I'm gonna edit these videos and then the sun is gonna come in and it's gonna hit the perfect spot for me to film a recipe video. So I'm gonna film another recipe video this afternoon and I'll take you along to see what we come up with. It'll be fun. By the way, my director is always here on the premises, you know. I am becoming dangerously close to needing a new manicure, but I'm at that point where does anybody else look at their schedule and you think, when am I gonna need these nails until? If I get a manicure now, then I'm gonna be at this stage of the manicure for a weekend getaway for one of my best friend's 30th birthdays. It's a game of Tetris. I also don't know if I should get a spring color. I just love my neutrals. I get dip nails. These are my real nails. These are the real nails, but I get dip nails. I don't know, should I get a spring color or should I stick with my neutrals? Vote down below. Oh my gosh, guys, I just got a text from my fiance. He sent me his sleep score from last night. So our bed tracks our sleep score. So we have like a little competition going. So he'll just send them to me out of nowhere. But he got a 92 last night, pretty good. I'll link our bed down below, by the way. It's unbelievable. So his mattress adjusted 94 times while he was sleeping. We have the coolest mattress. Like I said, I'll link it below. Warning, I just filmed this clip and it goes on for a long time. I didn't think I would sit down and talk for so long. So get yourself a cup of tea because we're gonna have a little behind the scenes raw reel chat right now. Okay guys, I was not planning on filming today at all. Hence the fact that I literally have like cat hair on me. I have no makeup on, like hair is slicked back. It is a nose to the grindstone, glasses kind of day. But I'm going through something right now and I wanted to take out the camera and talk you through how I talk my mind down in very stressful situations and work through it and sit with it. And this is like a very real, raw filming moment that we're having together. This is the real deal behind the scenes of being a business owner and somebody who works alone for themselves. I'm alone a lot of the time, and when these things happen, like it's me and this guy and another one who is just on me, which is why there's literally cat hair all over me. So, not to bore you with the world's smallest violin, but I am supposed to be posting for a brand. I get to post for a brand. I don't have to post for a brand. I get to post for a brand. Contractually, it has to be done by a certain day in the coming days. This morning, I went to post on Instagram, my normal post, and saying it, I know how ridiculous this sounds. Like, trust me, I do, and I'm gonna talk about that, how small, like you're gonna listen to this and be like, cry me a river and go drown in it, because this is not a big deal. So the story is, I went to post on Instagram this morning, made my post, but the audio was messed up. So I deleted the post and then posted it again. When I posted it again, there was no caption. I was like, that's weird, I need the caption there. So I deleted the post and then posted it again, still no caption. When you delete and repost multiple times in a row, Instagram doesn't like that. Instagram thinks that you're spamming, so they put you in jail. So this has happened to me once before when my Erewhon cinnamon roll video went viral like 2 years ago, and they thought it was spam because it was getting so many comments. My app like did not work at all, but it put me in comment jail. And that happened like 3 years ago where I couldn't comment on anything. The jail that I'm currently in is caption jail and comment jail. So I reached out to Instagram, and I'm freaking out when this happens because by contract, I have to post for this brand. I'm in this agreement, but I can't do anything on my posts. So I can't fulfill the agreement. So I reach out to Instagram, I'm like freaking out. I asked them like, how long am I gonna be in this jail for? And they're like, we don't know. Your guess is as good as ours. It's like paying the IRS. They're like, no, you guess how much to pay. And I'm like, I don't know, I'll pay this much. They're like, nope, you're wrong. So this is happening. And I am, like I said, alone all the time. When these sorts of things happen, being a business owner can be so lonely. But I'm so stressed out about this because, and the reason why is because not only can I not do anything on Instagram, and it's my livelihood, I have to be able to, but I don't know how long it's gonna be until my Instagram works again. Hopefully by the time you're watching this video, it's working again. And I think that it will be, but I still don't know. It's like every time I get injured as a runner, which I haven't been injured in a long time, since I was on crutches this past summer. So I guess it's been like 6 months since I've had an injury. You're like, I'm never running again. Like, this is the end. So I wanna walk you through how I talk myself down, because I know that people watching this are in stressful situations or stressful things happen, and the knee-jerk reaction for many people can be to overeat, to turn to other sorts of substances, to go to fast food. I know that for me personally, When I get stressed or sad, hunger goes out the window. I am not hungry, don't want to eat. I like shut down. But that's not healthy. You know, you have to eat. Like today for lunch, I was not hungry at all. This happened like 2 hours ago. I just had lunch. And I said to myself, and I'll tell you, I wrote down all these things that I wanted to talk to you about. But when it came to lunch and eating, I just said, you know, eating's a non-negotiable. Whether my Instagram comments work or not, whether stressful things are happening or not, you know, eating is a non-negotiable, and fueling myself properly is a non-negotiable, and it's not something I can bargain on. And that's what I said to myself. So I wrote down what kind of goes through my mind, because I've done so much work through Living Untethered, the Untethered Soul with my clients. I talk about this kind of stuff all the time, how to not let your mind control you and how to work with whatever thoughts and emotions are coming up. So first thing that I wrote down, which is, these are just the things that came up with how I'm working through a very stressful situation, is how not big of a deal this is. A wise Carrie Underwood once said, "It's so easy to get lost inside a problem that seems so big at the time." Something Michael Singer talks about is this earth is like 4.8 billion years old, and we come take a ride on it for 85 years. If we think that what's going on with us is a big deal, we're out of our minds. The nearest sun is something like 4 light years away. 4 light years is the nearest star. Yeah, the nearest star is 4.24 light years away. We are living in a tiny little speck in a universe bigger than what we are able to comprehend for a blip of time in the grand scheme of things. If I think that my Instagram captions not posting is a big deal, I've lost my mind. This is not a big deal. And I don't say that to diminish the real feeling that I had this morning, because I think when you say, well, your Instagram comments won't post, it seems silly, but the real thing that was bothering me was that I'm not able to uphold my end of an agreement with a brand. That challenges my integrity. I don't like that. I like to be a good, reliable person to work with. I won most reliable in high school, not to brag. I won most reliable. Okay, next thing that I wrote down. So first, it's literally not a big deal. Like, nobody makes it out of here alive. It's not the end of the world, and this is probably a temporary problem. Second, things happen for us, not to us. So something that my dad says, you know, I wouldn't consider myself religious as much as I would consider myself spiritual. I'm definitely spiritual, but I don't subscribe to any like particular religion, I don't think. But anyway, something that my dad always says is, God works in funny ways. I do believe in a higher power, like whether it's the universe or God, I just believe in some sort of higher power. And I very much believe that this happened for a reason. And the reason that I think it happened was because I actually went on my Instagram and I changed things up. So I changed my bio. I am now adding highlights to my page of like all of my favorite Boston food places. So I'm gonna be updating that every day. I'm also gonna add all of my favorite like restaurants that I've been to around the world, so people can see those there. I'm gonna be adding a highlight of my food. So those highlights are now on my page, and those weren't there before. And now I'm actually like really excited about that. So this happened for a reason to deter me somewhere else. And it happened to be that it gave me time to do things that I wouldn't have done today. Next, future tripping. So I always catch myself when I find myself future tripping. Anxiety is living in the future, depression is living in the past. So my mind immediately went to, when I couldn't post on Instagram, I thought, I'm not gonna be able to post on Instagram. I'm not gonna be able to do this deal with the brand. The brand's gonna be so mad at me. The whole like agreement that we have is gonna fall through. They're not gonna wanna work with me again. This is, you know, catastrophizing, the worst case scenario. None of this has happened yet. All that's happened right now is I can't post a caption, I can't post a comment. I reached out to the brand. That's where we are right now. I can't let myself get lost in the future. I really do have to stay present. So that's what I did. Next thing, distraction and keeping busy. When it's a problem that is out of your control, where you're just kind of playing the waiting game, which is what I'm doing right now, distraction. So I distracted myself with, reformulating my Instagram. I did as much work as I could otherwise, just keeping myself busy until I find out what happens. Next, noticing my knee-jerk reaction. So my knee-jerk reaction when stressful things happen, like I said, is like all physiological processes shut down. I don't get hungry. And that was kind of the big thing, was like, I did not want to eat lunch at all. I was so stressed and deflated. That's literally not an excuse though. Like, I'm not taking that excuse, not taking it for my clients, not taking it for myself. Like, we need to eat, non-negotiable. So noticing the knee-jerk reaction and then acting as a responsible adult and feeding myself. So I had lunch. Next, recognizing that this is out of my control. I could Google, how long does a ban last for? I could, pray to the Instagram gods. None of that's going to change. What's going to happen is going to happen, and it's completely out of my control. So why worry about something that I can't control what's going to happen here? So I'm just going to go about my normal day, and hopefully it returns soon. Next, what a good problem I have on my hands, right? We say we don't want a life without problems. We want a life with good problems. How lucky am I that the worst part of my day is some little tech issue for a brand deal? I dreamed of problems like these when I was a teacher, when I was working in Boston as a teacher, when it was 6:30 in the morning, I was opening car doors in the snow for the kids. I dreamt of these problems where I could have a tech issue with a brand deal, and that was the biggest thing that bothered me in my day. So I'm grateful that this is the problem that I have. There are much bigger problems in the world, and I can see the perspective there. And again, we say this isn't to diminish the frustration that I feel, because again, it's not about Instagram. It's about the fact that I am somebody of integrity and somebody who is professional, and this, at my core, it hurts me because it looks unprofessional that I have to make this altering with a brand deal. But this is a reality, and things happen for us, not to us. So this went way longer than I thought that it would, but I hope this is helpful, because this is a very real, raw behind the scenes. It's really lonely when these things happen. Being a business owner is the hardest thing, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. I talk about so often how hard it is to be a business owner, and I'll hear people say, would you ever go back to teaching? And I say, not in 5 billion years. Like, I like this hard. I'm gonna keep this hard. So hopefully I will give you a good update soon. I can't wait until it's back. I'm gonna appreciate that normalcy, but I hope this was helpful for you.